Hey guys, welcome to game 3 of the Double Doombulls campaign, and this game is going to be a 2,500 point game against a Warriors of Chaos army. So we're going to ask the question today, who can build the better Chaos characters? Who can build the best fighty Chaos characters? I know Beastmen used to be Chaos, and I still think of them as Chaos, but who's going to rack up a bigger kill count for the Blood Gods, I guess, or the Chaos Gods? So will it be the Doombulls or will it be the Lord level and Hero level characters of the Warriors of Chaos army? So I don't have a picture of deployment, but I have this is first turn, so we'll talk about his deployment now. He has a Chariot of Nurgle on the top left, then a unit of 23 Tzeentch guys with a level 2 Sorcerer in there, and the Sorcerer is Death. And the Tzeentch guys obviously have shields, so they've got the 3-up armor, 5-up ward combo. Then in the center he has a Disc Lord of Tzeentch, and he's got a great weapon, a 2-up armor save, the strength 4 breath weapon, and the 3-up ward save where he rerolls 1, so he's got an insane ward save, and the Stubborn Crown, so he flies and is unkillable and does tons of damage. Then he has a unit of 20 Nurgle warriors with halberds, and in there is his BSB in the front and center. The BSB has got Mark of Nurgle, Glittering Scales, Charm Shield, so he's got a 2-up armor save, and he's on his Demonic Mount. So he's Toughness 5, 3 wounds, 2-up armor save. This is pretty much only hit on 6s, so very good combo there. Then the Hell Cannon, and then on the right he has a unit of Knights, Mark of Nurgle with full command, and he has a level 2 of Nurgle in that unit. So as for me, I have a unit of 5 Warhounds on the left. 5 skirmishers have already walked in the building, then I've got another 5 skirmishers next to them. A unit of 35 Gore with full command. Then a unit of 5 Minotaurs with Musician, and in there I've got my 3 characters, so my BSB has a great weapon and the 4-up ward save. My Ninja Bull has got Fencer's Blaze and Glittering Scales, and then I've got the 1-up rerollable armor save Doombull. Behind that unit, I have 2 level 1s of Beasts and a level 2 of Shadow. And then I have a unit of 30 Bestigors with Banner and Musician. And to the right, I have another unit of 25 Gores with full command. And out of shot, I have a unit of 5 Warhounds and another Chaffstick of 5 Ungore Skirmishers. So in the first turn, I move up pretty aggressively. Most of my infantry move up to max, with the exception of the Minotaurs, who stay back a bit because they don't want to get charged by that Disc Lord, because I don't think that's a good matchup. I don't think I'll be able to kill him, and he'll just hold up what is about 1,000 points of Minotaurs while his army can deal with the rest of it, so I don't need 300 points holding up 1,000 points. Because even if I win, I think I would win on static combat res. I think our challenge, the Ninja Bull and him would get into a pillow fight, me being unable to get through his ward save, and him being unable to hit me. So that's what I'm going for there. So in the magic phase, to try to discourage him even more, I put Savage Beast of Horus on my Ninja Bull, so now he's got 10 attacks at strength 9. And I get a Wissen's Wild Form up on these guys. And yeah, I just had an insane magic phase. We rolled double 4, so he had 4 dice, but then I get 3 dice from the Herdstone and I channeled 1. So 12 dice to 4 it turned out to be. And I put Enfeebling Foe on this guy, so I drop his strength. So with the Great Weapon, he's only going to be strength 4. So we go to Warriors of Chaos turn 1, and he's not discouraged by the fact that he's strength 4, and he charges his Disc Lord straight into my Doombulls. But he fails. He rolled a 7 and he needed an 8. So I count myself lucky there, because again, that's not a matchup I'm looking forward to. The rest of his army moves up rather tentatively. He's worried about my units. With the exception of the Nurgle Knights on the right, they just walk up as quickly as possible. Because they're not really, I mean, they can walk through anything I have on that flank. I mean, my 25 Gore don't stand a chance against them if he frontal charges them. In the magic phase, he gets rid of Enfeebling Foe. And the Hell Cannon lands on these guys, gets a direct hit, and kills 8 guys. But luckily I passed my panic test. So we go to Beastman turn 2. And obviously I play very aggressively because I'm a combat army, I don't really have much in the way of magic offense or shooting. So the Gore unit charges the chariot, and there's a very easy charge. So he decided to flee, but then I used my Hound unit who are out of shot to charge them again, and his chariot actually flees off the board. So that's very, very good news for me to get that chariot out of the way. So after that, I move up my Chapstick to in front of his sword and board warriors. So he'll have to charge them to do anything if he wants to do anything, and I'm hoping that maybe he doesn't kill them all and fails his leadership 8 reform test, and have to pursue me into the building, and then my Gores could maybe get a flank charge off on him, because I think that's really the best way to do it. I don't think my Gores can fight those guys straight up. So I move my Minotaurs out of the my Doombulls out of the Minotaur unit, and the BSB I put behind that unit. So this ends up being a huge mistake. Not so much that I moved him out of the unit, because again, I don't need his Disclord holding up essentially what is my army. But so what I do is I park the one of rerollable Doombull in front, and that means that when he charges in, he's going to challenge with his BSB, and the point of the one of rerollable Doombull is to take lots of attacks from infantry, so he gets lots of extra attacks back, and that's not going to happen if he challenges. So what I should have done is actually put those two characters in a unit together, so when he charged in, I would accept the challenge with the Ninja Bull, who's still hitting him on 5s instead of hitting him on 6s, and that the regular one-up rerollable bull could attack his regular could attack his infantry, but I didn't do it, and I'm really kicking myself. Just a really silly mistake on my part. And then on the right side, I move the dogs up in front of the Chaos unit, and again, I'm hoping to do the same thing there. He won't be able to get too many attacks in on me if he doesn't kill all the dogs. He'll have to take a leadership test not to pursue me. If he fails that leadership, I mean, he gets one shot at a leadership 8. If he fails that, I can get an easy flank charge with my Gores in there. And if he does pass it, then I try it again next turn with the second unit of Chaff, the 5 Ungor Raiders. So I've got 2 chances of getting a flank charge against these guys, and that's really my only hope. Because again, I don't think my guys, without proper support, 25 Gore can't fight a unit of Nurgle Knights. In the magic phase, I get a wild form up on this guy to try to discourage him from charging him, I guess. And I reduce the strength of his Disclord by 2, so now he's only strength 5. And Warriors of Chaos turn 2, yep, so he charges in there, and he's going to challenge me, and at this point I realize I've made a huge mistake. He also charges these knights, or these Tzeentch warriors into his unit. In the magic phase, he casts a purple sun. I let it go through because what's he gonna kill? And he rolls a miscast or a misfire on the artillery dice, and it ends up landing on him. It kills one of my guys and kills 2 of his guys. So that's a nice trade for me. And over here, yeah, so we get in the challenge between the BSB and the one-up rerollable Doombull, and I'm only hitting him on 6s. So yeah, I get no wounds through. He gets no wounds through to me. So he wins by a ton of static combat res, and I get very lucky and I hold, which gives me a second chance to charge in there with the weapon skill 10 Doombull. But again, I've screwed this up. The weapon skill 10 Doombull should have been the guy fighting in the challenge, and the one-up rerollable Doombull should have been the guy fighting the unit. Over here, he charges the dogs and wipes them out completely, so he gets a reform like that. And here I'm very surprised. So he's got the breath weapon at strength 4, and then he's got a bunch of attacks at strength 5, and he's only able to do 6 wounds, so he kills 2 Minotaurs outright, which means I'm still steadfast because I've got 1 rank of 3 guys, and I'm able to hold. I do lose my frenzy though, and obviously I'm not going to do any damage to this guy the entire game. So Beastman turn 3. I go for broke, and I charge the regular Gores and the Bestigores into his Tzeentch warriors, and the Bestigores failed the charge. I mean, it was a long charge. I think I needed something like a 9, so I was not likely to make it, but I really just had to try. So the Gores are in there on their own, which is not good for the Beastmen. And I get the Doombull charges into the unit, and he's going to try to save the day there. Between his 7 regular attacks, his impact hits, and his stomp, he should be able to put out some damage. And then the second Chapstick on the right walks up in front of the knights and is hoping that they fail to kill all of them, as well as him failing his leadership aid test to restrain pursuit. So I'm giving that one another shot. My magic phase is a bust. He uses a scroll to shut it down, and so in the challenge, my Doombull actually takes a wound. The 1-up rerollable Doombull just fails his reroll. He actually takes a wound. The Ninja Bull comes in and kills 4 guys, which is okay. And then, but he takes 3 wounds back, which really surprised me. So what ends up happening is we have the same amount of kills, but he's got way more static combat res. Both of my Doombulls break, but luckily he rolls like a 4 to pursue, and both of my Doombulls get away. And he charges into this unit here. So these Bestigors are toast. It was just an easy flank charge for him. And here I get lucky again. He only does 2 wounds to me, which means I'm still steadfast. I do no wounds to him. And I make my steadfast roll on the BSB. So that was good news for me. And here, yeah, these Gore, I do 1 wound to him. I get 1 wound through, and he kills 6 of my guys, which means I lose. But again, I'm steadfast and I hold. So we go to Warriors of Chaos turn 3. He charges the Knights into the Chapstick, and all his other units are already in combat. I was able to shut down his magic phase, and he shoots his Hell Cannon at these Gore and kills 5 of them. But I'm on my leadership test with -1 leadership, and I roll Insane Courage. So these guys really wanted to stick around to have their go at those Nurgle warriors or Nurgle knights. So hopefully them passing their leadership will pay off for me. And yeah, so the Chapstick gets killed outright, so he's able to reform. So that does not help my cause. So the 2 chances that I had to maybe get a flank charge in have not worked out for me. So now I just got to rely on static combat res and maybe some luck to maybe win a fight against these guys. Over here, he kills 9 of my guys this round. I do 0 wounds to him, and luckily I'm still steadfast, so I hold. But it's not looking good for these guys. They're getting whittled down way faster than I expected. And here he does a whole bunch of wounds to me. He killed 1 guy outright, and I end up sticking on Insane Courage. So that was really lucky for me, and I felt pretty fortunate. I really didn't expect these Minotaurs to hold up this guy for as long as they have. And as you might expect, these Gores are boned. They killed 1 guy, and he actually only killed 4 of my guys, which I felt was pretty lucky. But again, they're on Insane Courage, and they break. And luckily, again, I get away. This game could have gone completely in the opposite direction. He still hasn't scored any points off my big units. Yes, they're all fleeing at the moment. But him just not rolling high on the pursuits has saved me. So many points so far, and again, I have a chance to rally on my turn now. And so we go to Beastman turn 4, and that's what ends up happening. So both my Doombulls rally and the Bestigors rally, so that was great. I moved the BSB around, and I put him in the center of the board so he can get leadership or rerolls to as many units as possible. And he's in a position where he's not going to get charged when any units break or something like that. I moved one of my level 1s, so the one without the Dispel Scroll, in front of his Nurgle warrior unit. That way he can only charge them, and it saves my 1-up rerollable Doombull from getting charged by them and getting beaten by static combat res again. So he's, I'd rather lose a 70-point guy than a 300-point guy. And the Black Gore on the hill make their easy charge into the Nurgle Knights. So I start with 3 ranks, a charge, and a charge down a hill. So that's 5 static combat res, so I'm really hoping, I'll probably lose a rank, but I'm really hoping to stick around there or just maybe push them through static combat res. and force a leadership test there. So in the magic phase, again, I have a pretty good magic phase with the Herdstone. I get a wild form up on these guys, so I'm hoping strength 4 and toughness 5 will save me. But again, I'm just not doing any wounds, and he's eating me through me there. So that was just bad news for these Gores. And this is a potential game changer. I have 6 dice left, and I throw it at Occam's Mind Razor, and I get it through with Irresistible Force. He's unable to dispel it. I take a wound on my mage in doing so. But again, it's a good trade-off. So now these guys are strength 7. They're only hitting on 5s, but they're going to cut right through his armor. And that's what ends up happening. I pass my Primal Fury, so I have 5 rerollables. He's only got a 6-up armor save after, and I kill all of his knights outright, which only leaves his Sorcerer, who is left on Insane Courage. And he doesn't pass his leadership, and he breaks, and I'm able to catch him, which was very, very lucky for me. I mean, this swung the game. I mean, I think I'm still, at this point, I'm still losing all the combats with the exception of this one, but it's just a big chunk of points that come back my way. I hadn't killed anything since that chariot first turn, and I didn't even technically kill it. I just made it run off the board. Over here, despite the fact that I'm strength 4, I think I do 2 wounds to him, and he still kills 6 of my guys, so that puts me below steadfast. And obviously I break and he catches me, and he overruns into these 2 remaining Ungor Raiders. And yeah, so his Lord finally kills the 2 Minotaurs. I mean, I really can't complain about that. Those guys held up that Lord for a very long time, so I'm really pleased with what they did there. So on Warriors of Chaos turn 4, he charges his Nurgle unit into the level 1 who's sacrificing himself, so he'll get into a challenge with the his BSB. And the Disc Lord charges the Ninja Bull, which again is probably a better matchup for me than the 1-up rerollable Bull, because he's only hitting me on 5s, as opposed to the 1-up rerollable Bull, he'd be hitting me on 3s, and he'd be pretty much ignoring my armor at strength 7. I think a 1-up save goes down to a 6-up. And a 6-up rerollable is not much of a defense. So this is actually the last shot of the game. The store was closing and we ran out of time. So as you might expect, the level 1 dies. Just absolutely gets pasted by the BSB. The 2 Ungor Raiders obviously die to the Sword and Board Warriors. And my Doombull and his Lord get into a pillow fight. We do no wounds to each other and both end up sticking around, which is nice. So the after action report. Surprisingly, this game ended up being a draw. Taking out those Nurgle Knights and that level 2 Wizard in turn 4 really helped me. I think the fact that the store was closing and we only got to play 4 turns probably also helped me as well. There's really not much else I could have done against him. Like that's my Doombull would have not. Yeah, they just can't do anything on their own against these guys. They'll just get challenged out by his very difficult to hit and kill BSB. So yeah, I really mismanaged my Doombulls. It was a reflection of the fact that he's got the flying, unkillable Disc Lord who's stubborn. So I really just wanted to make sure that that guy didn't fly into those 2 guys. But I could have done the exact same thing and just put my Doombulls into a unit, which would have really helped me out there against the Nurgle Warriors. And as a result of this, I'm going to find points to put the Sword of Striking on my 1-up rerollable Doombull. Just hitting on 2s, or in the challenge that would have been 5s, makes a big difference. Again, the only reason why I thought it was close was because my magic phase was absolutely dominant. Getting 3 dice and having 3 channel attempts every turn really helped me. And yeah, my chaff, again, the only reason why I got any points. I mean, the dogs charged that chariot off the board, and the 2 other chaff units were able to delay those knights. I mean, the overrun strategy didn't work. He passed his leadership test. I think it's a valid strategy. But the small unit of Gores with the Mind Razor on there was able to take care of those knights. So that was very good news for me. As to the characters, so as part of the campaign, I'll be telling you how much they killed and keeping track of what they've done throughout. And this is a very disappointing game in terms of body count. I mean, Jensenhide, the one pre-rollable Doombull, did 0 wounds, which is really totally unexpected. Arntusk, the Ninja Bull, killed 4 Norgal warriors, so he's the only one who actually got any kills this game. And Tomolrask, the Gorbel BSB, actually never got into combat, and that's mostly deliberate. There really weren't any matchups that were good, and I was just trying to make sure that he didn't get caught by the Flying Disc Lord, who absolutely terrorized my guys. I think if it comes down to it, we've addressed the question. The Doombulls are nasty, but a Flying Disc Lord that can pick his fights and is stubborn and unkillable is just really, really good. That's a really nice build. And I honestly think that that in this game particularly, that was more useful than having a level 4 character for my opponent. I think that's a really nice build. But obviously maybe I'm biased because, again, I'm playing double Doombulls as well. I'm not playing with a level 4. So I think fighty lords still have a place in the game, and in a meta that's really ruled by level 4s. So as to the overall, how my characters have done in the campaign, Jensenhide obviously didn't do anything this game, but he's still got a pretty impressive body count over the first 3 games. He's killed 2 lords, 1 hero, 59 infantry, and he's killed 1 monster. Arntusk actually killed some guys, so he's killed 50 infantry, 1 hero, and 1 monster over the course of 3 games. And Tomolrask, over the course of the first 2 games, but I guess the 3rd game he didn't do anything, but he's killed 34 infantry. So all 3 of these guys have an absolutely very impressive body count. I really, really love what these guys can do with the Blood Greed rule, just putting out so many attacks and being able to take out units on their own, depending on the matchup. So I really like that, and I'm pretty pleased with them. So hope you guys enjoyed it.